Remember when Lucy casually lit up a cigarette with the elegance of a movie star on I Love Lucy? Or when Archie Bunker's, shall we say, colorful language had us rolling in the aisles? Times have certainly changed. In the ever-spinning carousel of entertainment and culture, the societal norms that once sculpted our collective laughter have unmistakably transformed, leaving some of those iconic sitcom moments of yesteryear in a rather awkward light. Facts Verse presents classic sitcom episodes that are considered totally inappropriate today. All in the Family, Edith's 50th birthday. Considered by many to be a major milestone in TV history, the two-part episode Edith's 50th birthday stands as one of its most difficult installments of the series to re-watch with modern eyes. This episode marks the first time a sitcom directly confronted the issue of sexual assault. While the rest of the family is next door planning a birthday celebration, Edith narrowly escapes an assault from an attacker who poses as a police detective. The physical confrontation itself is not as striking as the emotional aftermath, where Edith grapples with the haunting trauma and depression that follow. The show's creators, mindful of the sensitive subject, consulted with experts in crisis intervention and mental health to portray Edith's emotion in a way that felt both real and honest. Even so, you probably wouldn't see an episode like this on a family-friendly sitcom today. Three's Company, The Charming Stranger. In a world of sitcoms, it's not often that a moment can truly shock audiences, especially in a way that takes decades to come to light. But that's precisely what happened with an episode of Three's Company, originally broadcast December 20th, 1983. The plot revolves around a ventriloquist moving into the apartment next to Jack and his roommates. The trio, overhearing their new neighbor rehearsing and unaware of the context, mistakenly believes him to be a jewel thief and a murderer. The usual comedic escapades follow, but what caught viewers' attention some 17 years later was something entirely unexpected. According to a report from March 2001, an eagle-eyed viewer watching a rerun on Nickelodeon noticed that during a scene where Jack Tripper plops down on the bed, a brief glimpse of actor John Ritter's testicles could be seen. Nickelodeon later confirmed the observation and removed the offending moment from future repeats. Saved by the Bell, Jessie's Song. In the unforgettable Saved by the Bell episode, Jessie's Song, Jessie Spano finds herself ensnared in the grip of a caffeine pill addiction, all in an attempt to cope with the pressures of high school geometry. What transpires next is a dramatic scene that has since become a cultural touchstone of sorts, though perhaps not for the reasons originally intended. As Jessie is about to perform at the max, her friend Zach confronts her about her addiction, leading to a moment that is both poignant and unexpectedly comical. Jessie subsequently launches into a frenzied rendition of the Pointer Sisters hit, I'm So Excited, only to crumble into tears moments later. Though the episode looked to present a serious examination of addiction, it's perhaps telling of its era that this earnest attempt has since been transformed into a humorous meme, overshadowing any deeper message. Cheers, The Boys in the Bar. In the Cheers episode titled The Boys in the Bar, Sam is confronted with a moral dilemma when a former teammate publicly comes out as gay. Though Sam openly supports his friend, the regular patrons, including Norm, express concerns that their beloved bar might be labeled a gay bar. Caught between loyalty to his regular customers and embracing potential new clientele, Sam's predicament mirrors the cultural conversation of the time. What's intriguing about this episode isn't just the subject matter, but the way it's handled. While attempting to explore themes of acceptance and change, the storyline somehow feels dated even within the context of the 80s, reflecting societal attitudes that have since evolved with leaps and bounds. Saved by the Bell, Running Jack. Zach Morris's infamously poor judgment was highlighted in the 1990 Season 2 episode Running Zach of Saved by the Bell. Discovering his Native American heritage, Zach proceeds to wear a headdress and other bits of cultural garb for school, a portrayal that actor Mark Paul Gosselaar later publicly apologized for. He said he cringed while rewatching the episode and acknowledged it could not be made today for good reason. Married with Children, Her Cups Runneth Over. The episode Her Cups Runneth Over from Married with Children Season 3, which first aired on Fox January 8, 1989, became quite controversial for its risque humor. The episode's plot involved Al Bundy and his friend Steve Rhodes searching a lingerie store for Peggy's favorite bra, leading to a series of provocative antics. This included jokes and scenes involving cross-dressing, questionable sexual innuendo, and even a particularly inappropriate gay joke, all reflective of the show's unapologetic tone. The specific episode caught the attention of a Michigan woman, Terry Ricolta, who was deeply offended. She spearheaded a boycott of the show, reaching out to companies that sponsored the program and urging them to withdraw advertising. This briefly led to some companies pulling their ads, and Fox even toned down the show's content temporarily. Contrary to her intentions, however, the controversy unexpectedly propelled the show to newfound popularity. The media attention surrounding Ricolta's boycott drew curious viewers, leading to a surge in ratings. Tiny Toons, One Beer. Children's shows are typically inoffensive, but One Beer from Tiny Toons proves they too can cause an uproar. In this surprising episode, Buster peer pressures his underage friends to drink beer, leading to a dark and morbid scenario where they get drunk, crash a car, and subsequently burst into flames. The episode did not even go over well at the time of its release in the early 90s and has since been excluded from US DVD collections. Seinfeld, The Merv Griffin Show. In the Seinfeld episode The Merv Griffin Show, Jerry's typically peculiar approach to dating takes a distinctly dubious detour. Intrigued by his new girlfriend's collection of vintage toys, Jerry resorts to drugging her to gain access to them. While the act was framed with a humorous slant, modern sensibilities would likely find such behavior far from amusing. The frequently morally ambiguous antics of the Seinfeld characters have been a hallmark of the show, but this particular storyline might cross a line that today's audiences would see as not only unethical, but potentially criminal. Friends, The One with the Male Nanny. The Season 9 episode The One with the Male Nanny from Friends is another example of outdated gender roles in classic television. Ross objects to Sandy, a male nanny candidate, making fun of his career choice and questioning his sexuality. Even though some other characters criticize Ross for his antiquated views, his objections are still played for laughs, something that might not resonate well with modern audiences. The Office, Diversity Day. According to many viewers' assessments, especially those found within the merciless arena of Reddit, The Office's Diversity Day takes a huge misstep in its attempt to address race, with Michael Scott's obscenely insensitive training methods. Though intended to spotlight his wrong-headed behavior, the episode's indulgence in racial and sexist stereotypes, alongside ridiculously bad impersonations, crosses the line. Seinfeld, The Puerto Rican Day. Seinfeld's The Puerto Rican Day created a massive controversy with its heinously demeaning portrayal of the Puerto Rican Day Parade. Complete with flag burning and sweeping generalizations about the Puerto Rican people and their culture, the episode drew mass protests and was temporarily removed from broadcast. In August 2002, the episode was re-included in the show's syndication package, with the flag burning scene remaining intact. Sony Pictures Television, the distributor of the series, believed that enough time had elapsed to justify its inclusion. And the full unedited episode is also available to stream on Netflix. The Simpsons, Blame It on Lisa. Apparently taking a few misguided cues from the last Seinfeld episode we discussed, in Blame It on Lisa, The Simpsons caricatured Brazil in a way that invited outrage from the entire South American nation. Depicting criminal drivers, violent monkeys, theft, and murder, the episode's crass racial stereotypes drew threats of legal action from the Brazilian government. The IT Crowd, The Speech. The IT Crowd's The Speech took a disturbing turn with its depiction of a relationship with a trans character named April. Filled with tasteless jokes and violent reactions, this episode was egregiously offensive to many fans and showed a complete lack of awareness about sensitive issues. Now it's time to hear from you. Have you seen any of these episodes? Did you find them to be offensive? Let us know in the comments section below.